What's up everybody, Tyler Prang here, and I'm really excited to show you a new project I've been working on for triggering tracks in Arrangement View. So if any of you have used Arrangement View before, you know that in order to get to the start of a song, you have to have two different MIDI cues. So you have to have one to jump to the song, and then another cue to start the track.
1, 2, 3, 4.
So if I want to go to song 2, I have to hit my pedal on song 2, and then go ahead and hit
3,
start.
4.
So with this little trick I've been working on, instead of having to push two different controls, one to call up the song and one to play, now you can just hit one pedal,
1, 2, 3, 4.
and it calls up your song and your song starts playing. So I'm going to go ahead and trigger song 2.
3, 4.
And it's that simple. All you need is one MIDI note per song, and it calls up the song and starts playing. So now that we've seen a demonstration, let's go ahead and jump into the details. The program I use for these commands is called Keyboard Maestro, and you can download that at keyboardmaestro.com. The first thing you want to do once you open Keyboard Maestro is go ahead and add a new macro. You can do that with Command N on a Mac, or you can go down here and press the plus button. We want to create a new macro for each song, so I'm going to go ahead and call this one Song 1. Now what we have to do is tell Keyboard Maestro what incoming note to recognize. So I'm going to go New Trigger, MIDI Trigger. This is all set up to MIDI learn, so I'm going to go ahead and hit pad 1 on my foot controller, and that will MIDI learn that pad. And again, we're working with Song 1, so that's why I mapped it to pad number 1 on my foot controller. So the next thing we want to do is go ahead and create a new action. And we're going to type up here MIDI, and we're going to do the send MIDI control change. I'm going to set this to channel 16. You can really set it to whatever channel you want, as long as it's out of the way of your other keyboards. And I'm going to just do control 1. And for your value, let's set it to 127. I found that works best in Ableton for this program. Next, let's add a pause cue. We're going to set this time to 0.2 seconds. And then lastly, let's add another MIDI cue. This MIDI cue will be for your play button in Ableton, so I'm going to go ahead and set this to 16. And I'm going to put this all the way up at 127 so it's out of the way. So now, whenever I hit that first MIDI note on my foot controller, it's going to send this value, which is channel 16, control 1, at a value of 127. It's going to pause for 0.2 seconds and then send this second set of values. So let me show you how to map that in Ableton. First thing you want to do is go into your MIDI preferences. You can do that by using Command Comma on a Mac, or go to Live and then Preferences. From here, we just want to make sure that Keyboard Maestro is set for track and remote. So I'm going to jump into MIDI mapping mode here in Ableton. And then for this first box here, I'm going to right click. I'm going to make sure that my first song is selected, and I'm going to click Try. And what that does is it sends this MIDI note, which goes into Ableton and gets mapped to the first song. And then remember, this last box here is the play button, so I'm going to go ahead and click play down here and then click try. All right, so that should be it for song 1. Let me get out of edit mode here, jump back into Ableton, get out of MIDI mapping, and then I'm going to go ahead and try it out by clicking my foot pedal.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Awesome. Seemed like that worked, so let's jump back over into Keyboard Maestro and set up a song number 2. So I'm just going to go ahead and duplicate this, label this song 2. Now the only thing I need to change is this actual first box here, which is sending the cue to call up the song. So I'm just going to change this to 2. And remember, this is my play note, so that's going to stay the same because the same note is going to be for playing in Ableton every time. So I'm going to jump over back into Ableton, jump into MIDI mapping mode, click on my song 2, and then do the same thing here, hit try, and make sure it's set here, and it is. So let me get out of edit, get out of MIDI mapping mode, and then let me go ahead and try number 2 on my foot pedal. You'll notice it's not working. So I actually skipped one step here. What I need to do is remap this incoming note to my second foot pedal. So I'm going to go ahead and relearn that. And now we should be good to go. So now I'm going to hit my foot pedal, switch 1.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Go ahead and stop it here.
Verse.
And then I'm going to hit pedal number 2.
3, 4.
So now you can just go ahead and repeat that step in Keyboard Maestro for all the songs in your set list. If you have any questions, feel free to comment on the video below.